Her buddy must be going for a walk. Hold on, because I gotta charge this because my phone is going to me. So anyway, I am testing out, and I will put it on the thing. Couple things. This I got this from Amazon just to have a little bit more of a cushion. So far, so good. I wonder if it could be a little bit bigger, but let's test it out tonight and see if it kind of just gives me a little bit more cushion because what I had on there was just not enough. And I don't think I could go bigger because of where it sits after I sit down. So we'll see. But this is what I got. I will put it on the list in case you feel like you need a little something for, no, I'll put it in here in case this doesn't work. I'm going to give it a try tonight. I got to get rid of all this glitter. So at the Helping Hand store down in Berlin, they have they have it. So we'll see how it goes. They've got our silk, or not, so they got our silk caddies, but they also have our I can't think. They also have, I am really tired, y'all. They also have our first Kinusaiga piece. So we're taking it down there. We have it down there in the store just to kind of see how well it goes. So there's stuff with glue. So one thing that I thought about after this morning, because I did put my little signature thing back there, was I think I should have tried to put the the felt on and cut like a piece of square in it so that it's still I have glitter on this thing for me. Um Mocha sees her buddy and she just wants to she is just anyway, I think I should have that's why these scrapers are really good. I think I should have cut um cut I'll think about it in a second. I should have cut I should have put the little signature thing that tells people what the piece is. And I called it, hi Rudy, I called it stained glass kaleidoscope. And what I should have done is put that on the back side of this part, the plain side. Just pull it out. Like the plain side back here. And then I guess put that on the back side of here. Then put that little card and then put our felt that we use to cover the piece, which is this. And I should put that kind of inside of there so that I didn't have to, because I didn't like the way it didn't happen the first time I did it. But anyway, so next time we'll have to try that. But I'm trying to get the glitter off before I put anything. So we are working on, I do want to start that cross, but I can't compute tonight. So we're not going to do that tonight because that means I have to cut something. And I don't want to do it. So we're working on this. We're working on Kinusaiga, which is the art of tucking fabric into foam board. And so we're working on the kitty cat tonight. I did get some new fabric while we were out. You all know me. I have to have a little bit of fabric. I have my tea. Also, I got my eyes in. I got eyes here, but I got my eyes in for the fish that we're working on Facebook. We're probably going to do a fish over on this side too. Hold on a second. So this is the fish we're currently working on so that we can have kind of a little presence on Facebook on our channel. We have over 1,000 subscribers. I'm gonna sneeze. I knew it. Oh goodness. Make sure you give those thumbs up when you come in. So when I ordered these from it, I think I put it in ST shop. When I ordered them in 6mm. Okay. thinking that was going to be how big they were. This was the size. I'll keep them for another project. They were just too small for this fish. So I'm probably going to do a fish over here too. We'll do another one, but I'm working on this one on Facebook. But I just want you to see. I have to do a fish because I've got all these fish eyes now for it. So anyway, we'll use these for a different project. These are resin fish eyes. So you can see that when I got those in the 6mm, I'm thinking, these are just not going to work. So I ordered two sizes because I really didn't know which one was going to work and which one was going to look right. So this is the next size up, and I think I put them on our list. This is the next size up. This is the 12 millimeter. So you can see how much better that looks than this little tiny one that just didn't look like anything. Okay. They were not terribly expensive. That was the 6 millimeter. This is the 12 millimeter. Now it looks fitting to the actual project. And I didn't know whether or not we were going to need a 12 millimeter or the 14 millimeter. When I asked ChatGPT, they said the 14 millimeter was going to be the best. I just didn't know. I don't know. We're going to see whether the 14 millimeter looks, what everybody likes, the 14 millimeter or the 12 millimeter. And I figure I'll get them both and we'll see, because I just figured out, you don't know. You also can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. And we do have memberships. We have recently got back our monetization, at least partially, on this channel. There's another way to support it. So we'll have to see whether or not we like the 12 millimeter when we finally do this, or the 14 millimeter. And we will do this fish again on this channel. And we'll probably use purple, but we'll use a different kind of purple. So anyway, that's kind of that. So I just love, the reason I picked these specifically is because they've got the purple, which I don't know if you can see. You see the purple hues? I think this other one has more of the purple than this, but that's why I kind of did it, because we were dealing with the purple. So anyway, I got tons of eyes. So anyway, that came in today. Sure I don't lose any of them, but I'll have several to be able to decide, and they are labeled. They come from this glasseyesonline.com. And then they also have their own ST. So anyway, that's that. So that's that. I have our wheels coming in. They were very nice because I meant to order the 12, and I messaged them and I said, can I switch the 12 out for the 14, or the 14 out for the 12? And they said, no, but we'll go ahead. If you want to order the 12, we'll go ahead and allow you to purchase the, if you want to purchase the 14, go ahead and purchase the 14. No, I ordered the 14 instead of the 12. So they said, we'll allow you to purchase the 12, and then we'll go ahead and refund the shipping and ship them both together. So they were very nice and very helpful. So we got that. So our first Kinusaiga project is down there, and I will get that up on here. We also got new fabric. Y'all know I have to get new fabric. I'm going to pull this down because I have a reason to. All right, so I'm going to put the kitty cat over there. There's a name for it. I just got to look it up. So I am kind of excited because when we were down to the Amish, we were delivering down in Berlin, we were delivering soap caddies, and we were delivering, because we're going to be in the Amish farm soap, the Amish soap company. And so anyway, we got that. And so when we were delivering that, I went next door, a couple doors down, to the Helping Hands quote shop, which has our soap caddies as well. And I dropped off our first Kinusaiga project that we finished last night and decided to pick up some fabric. So I'll show you that. But then, as we were kind of traveling around trying to find something to eat, and we ended up just getting something at Dairy Queen because I was dealing with so much. I have fibromyalgia. I was in a lot of pain, and we went to Sam's Club the other day, and I had one of those yogurts. It was the 18 yogurts, and I took it off the shelf, and I took it off funny, and it literally went like right here, and this is so sore up here. Josh was like, he was at like 99. We had to stop for something, and I was like really cold, in a lot of pain, got to stop. But in the process of trying to find some place to eat down in the Amish country, we found this place, and this is now another fabric store that I would probably tell you we would source fabric from and probably source fabric for kits from. It's called Zinkins Fabric Outlet, and they have two locations, one in Berlin, um, Millersburg. They have one in Goodville, PA, and they have one in Ligonier, Indiana. What are you barking at, Mocha? There's something out there but yourself. Excuse me. What? There's nothing out there. It's a fly. I don't know what you're seeing. Oh, there is somebody out there. No. Lord have mercy. That's our staffy. That decides. Anyway, this is the I have to follow them on Facebook too. But a lot of their fabric at this store I was very impressed with. And majority of their fabric was not over $6.99 a yard. Some of them were $5.99 a yard. There was a lot of fabric to choose from, and a lot of things that I would go with. I picked up two different things. Now, you do have to order at least a half a yard, or you have to at least buy a half a yard or more. So you can't get it in 1/4. But to find fabric for $5.99 or $6.99 a yard to get it for like $3 was a great find. So in the mix of trying to find something to eat, which we didn't find anything down there to eat because I didn't know what I wanted, we kind of had to do things on a little bit of a budget. Um, we're having I've officially a grandmother, and so I'm going to be helping out a little bit more with my daughter, and so we just have some expenses we're going to be taking on a little bit, and so we're trying to watch the budget, with gas being the way it is and everything. So we just we had to get something because we had no choice. He was in like 99. He's a diabetic, and I had to have some medicine, and so between the two of them, we had to stop someplace. But it was a good thing. Sometimes when you're on a journey and you're looking for something and you're going around and you're doing stuff, right? You sit there and you think to yourself, well, maybe there won't be something good. And he went by this fabric outlet, and I'm like, he said, you want to stop? I'm like, yeah, of course. And to go in there and find a lot of fabric for $5.99 or $6.99 a yard, to be able to know that I could have another place I could get really reasonable fabric. So I got this fabric because I saw this fabric, and again, half a yard, and I have the receipt someplace. Do I have it in here? Maybe not. This cost, these were both $6.99 a yard, so they were about $3.50 a yard, a half a yard. I didn't get a full yard. But I just thought this was so pretty with the with holidays coming up, with Thanksgiving coming up, and I also thought that I do have a pattern for a scarecrow, and I thought I love the way this kind of reminded me of kind of like a shirt, maybe a scarecrow would wear. And this is where I was kind of debating. I'll show you two things because we're going to be doing a pumpkin pattern that I'm actually would like to. They said that would probably go very well too down at their store. And this is some of the fabric because trying to find orange fabric, you think it'd be easy, but it really isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. So I'm taking out all the orange fabric. I've uh, kind of, done. So anyway, so I love that. So I'm going to put that aside for just a second as we go through this. Then I saw this and I thought this would go with about anything that we have, as we're going to be going up in the fall season. It looks like wood. Also, I'm thinking of Christmas. I have a really cute pattern I'm going to do for with like, you know, the one where you see the truck with the Christmas tree coming out of the back. I really like that. So I thought that would go very well with kind of that woody kind of design. And this was a half a yard again. This only cost about $3.50. So that's a really good place too. This place, I'm gonna have to start writing down because I think we're at like 6 or 7 or 8 fabric shops within the area. I mean, also a great place to get fabric from. So, and believe me, we're stacking it up, yo. So anyway, that's that. That card in there. Okay. Then when we were down at Helping Hands, I did because we did our nice soap caddies and we got them to the thing. I kind of treated myself to some fabric. Can't do much, but I did a little bit. And actually, the fat quarters were on sale for 20% off. So it wasn't a bad little haul that we got today. Couldn't do much more than that, but I did just a little bit. So this one was from Helping Hands Quilt Shop down in Berlin, down in the actual streets of Berlin, Ohio, which if you're not familiar, that's very much Amish down in there. And so I thought this was $1.22. What is it? Let's see. Let me get these out of here. This was $1.22. And I'll tell you how much it was. I just thought of grass and stuff. I thought it was really a good little for $1.22. How can you turn down a piece of fabric right like that? Sorry, guys. I am going to be going to bed. Oh, I'm going to sleep till I cannot sleep anymore. Hopefully, she wasn't feeling good last night, so she called me this morning. So this was 87, 1.53. I don't know how much that is, but anyway, that was 122. So that's still a nice little chunk of fabric. You know, if you were doing some kind of grass or bushes, I've got some bushes for our church, and that's one thing I thought of. I thought that may be really nice for the trees for the church, our church pattern that I'm going to be doing. So I grabbed that one for $1.22. These were fat quarters, and these were the fat quarters for the prints are $3.50. Plain are $3 down there, but I got 20%. They had all month long. They're 20% off their fat quarters. So I keep dropping that bag. It's just gonna stay on the floor. So I can't tell you what the 20% off would be. My brain does not want to calculate that right now. If y'all want to calculate that, go right ahead. I'm too tired to calculate. So I loved this. I thought this was so pretty. So this was a fat quarter, again, for $3.50. So it's 35 cents. So it was 70 cents, I want to say, off of each one of them. So it was 20% off. So it was 70 cents. Hi, Bud Files. So it costs me $2.80, if I'm not mistaken, right, per fat quarter. So they were on sale for 20% off, and I just thought this was so pretty. This is going with this, and I'll explain why in a minute. So this is another fat quarter. And again, this was $3.50, but it was 20% off, so it cost like $2.80. And I thought this was so pretty. And I thought that would be really pretty. It didn't have a lot of detail, but it has just some. So this was $2.80. And then this was another fat quarter. Um, and I just got this because I love that you see the little stars. I don't know if you can see the little stars on it. So anyway, that was, and you can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. So anyway, I love the little stars. So this was $2.90. Figure that'll come in real handy, and it's not, it's got the little stars. It's pretty neutral of a fat quarter. And then this was on sale. This was $2. This fat quarter was on $2. And I thought I'm going to grab it because I thought of Christmas. I shop for the deals when it comes to fabric. I don't know about you all, but I shop for the deals. And so I thought of Christmas when I saw this. And I'm like, this absolutely would be a great one for Christmas, especially with that pattern I have in my head for the truck with the Christmas tree. I saw this. I'm like, yep, got to get this absolutely for Christmas time. $2 for a fat quarter. So that was a really good deal. The only splurge that I did do was I got these two. These were $3.24. I put my receipts in there. Take another sip of my tea. Okay. And I really like this. This one I got, and it kind of looks like fall to me. I mean, this is like fall, but without the leaves. So if we did something with any kind of fall leaves, we could use this because it's fall leaves wrapped up in fabric, and it's really pretty. So I think that was $3.24. It was the only place I splurged. And then they had this one kind of to match this one, so I got it. But I thought this was pretty. Now I know this has big prints on it, but I think it would still work if you're trying to do a fall leaf kind of thing. So I got them both because I think it would work. And I just thought if I don't, I think I'll regret myself if I don't get this one. But I think if you're looking for something to look like fall leaves, this was absolutely 100% like fall leaves wrapped up in fabric. I just loved it. So I did get that. So we're going to put that with that. I'm sorry. So that's the only damage I did. I could have done more. Believe me, I could have done more. Especially when I went in that outlet place. I was like, oh. And you know something somebody was saying to me, I think it was Helping Hands. He said, yeah, I've heard that it's getting harder and harder to find yarn. So anyway, the reason I got those was because this is the whole thing, and we're going to do the pumpkin at one point because I do want to take that down probably next month to Helping Hands and take another one, especially if that one sells. This is the original thing that I thought of for this pumpkin. And then I got this. Don't ask me how I can remember all this at the Beehive fabric store, which I love. This was done at Country Fabrics, okay? Because I loved this because it has the glitter. I'm finding out every piece that I do has to have a little fabric with a little bit of sparkle, y'all. So I like this with this. I also got, this is how this whole thing kind of started, was I kind of got that. I like these two together. I kind of like this, and I'm kind of not thrilled with this and that together. But I think I found my thing. Okay. Then I got, and we went down to the Beehive place, the Beehive Quiltery, which I called them today and said, oh, thank you so much for the shout out. Because I shouted out this, what the stained glass fabric could be done with. And I liked this. Okay. With this. But I also kind of felt like it didn't give a little bit of a break. There needs to be some kind of break, but I hadn't found it yet. I think I found it. Okay. I really like this because I think this goes better with this. I think this goes better with this, and it gives it a little bit of a break. Because if you think of the pumpkins, they've got, of course, the strips down. So we're not going to be doing the whole strip in that. I also really like, possibly, if that didn't work, putting that with that better than I like having this in the mix of it. And this is what I was kind of going, I'm not really liking that whole mixture of colors. I kind of like having this because I think this orange goes better with this orange. This was done at that outlet place with this orange. And I also kind of like, if you look at this and this color, I couldn't have picked a better match if it tried. Okay. So if I wanted to kind of add a little bit of light into the pumpkin strips, I could add that. And I really like that. Along with, wherever that one just went, along with kind of adding this to the mixed. So now I've kind of added a light without going too crazy on patterns, because that'll overdo it, right? I really like this whole thing, right? Whereas if you took this here and you put this in the middle, even those two balance each other out, right? And you put this and this, and you took this and you put this here and made that in the middle. Or, no, I like that. Something like that. You could do something like that very easily. Something. I don't know how we'll do it. But I really like that, with this being the fabric behind the pumpkin to sit on. Because if you want to think that, you would think you'd be really easy to find fabric with small fall leaves, you can't find it. I've looked. These places I've looked, I can't find it. But if you kind of look at that all kind of goes so much better than this. I love this to some degree, but it wasn't the answer. This is the answer. This one that we got today from that one store. Absolutely. It has the right orange to kind of go with these two here, but it's not in your face like it's got a bunch of prints going on. So I really like this whole thing with this being behind there. And you could, if you wanted to, but I don't think it would go as well. This one we got at Country Fabrics. You could also do this. Possibly. I'd probably be taking this out and saying, you'd have to do it. Or taking this and this and then having this in the back. But I think I found my combination finally. That just was not sitting, and I couldn't find one I liked. I'm glad I picked that up. I wasn't sure about that, but I'm glad I did. And you could add this to the mix if you wanted a couple of fall leaves on the bottom of the pumpkin, and it would still go kind of somewhat with this. It would go well. It would be the darker alternative, I think, to that. And I really think at that point, if you had that, even if that's all you did, right? That's all you did was you just did that, just did the pumpkin. You could very much use this as the bow for the pumpkin. And it would go well. Or that other fabric that we just got at the outlet that we got, right? That's one of the reasons I got it. Look at this. Oh, it would look like a nice little raffia bow, and it would go very pretty. You could also do this if you really wanted to, and that would go very well too as well, but I really kind of like that as a possibility. So anyway, liking this combination so much better, and how I remembered what fabric came with what. I'm going to have to start putting tags on things so I can tell you where they came from, because Some of them I've forgotten, but anyway, that was our little haul that we got today, and I'm actually very glad. And I will be doing the pumpkin very, very, very soon. But we're gonna work on the kitty tonight for sure. I need a very easy pattern because I'm tired. It's been a long day. Hopefully, I've got my seam ripper someplace. I took my seam ripper and I did something with it. I took it with me in case I needed to make any details. And I put it someplace. That's okay. I have a backup. I have a backup. We'll give the other seam ripper a break. But anyway, we went down there. I am tired. And this is so sore. It's not bruised, but man, I mean, when it happened, oh, it's right here, and it's just, I mean, it's just, I move it. It's said Josh, I know I didn't crack a rib, but I'm telling you, people, I've never had a cracked rib. I hope I never do have one, but I thought feels like I kind of did something to it. Phew. So we're still roughly about 900 hours away. Think maybe 850, something like that. No, we're not. We're still 900 hours away from being fully monetized again, so that would help. Um, and we're about $20 away, I think, from getting our first YouTube check, because we had money in there when they said that you lost your monetization back in April. So for those people that may have been members and then lost it, just remember you do have the way of getting your memberships. You can reapply to have your memberships done again, and so all of that will help us tremendously. We would appreciate it. You don't have to. It's never expected. I just want people here sharing us out, growing the channel, having you all come in and connect and just enjoying it. But I probably won't be live too long tonight. But I did want to come on, especially because I got the fabric I got, and just chit chat, connect with you all, do some Kinusaiga, breathe, um, and just kind of take a moment tonight. I felt like I needed it, but I'm tired and sore. But oh well, it's okay. So this kitty's name is from uh, Crystal at Yarny Chicken, and it's Canela. That is the name of her cat. So we are calling that, and she said it is Spanish for cinnamon. So that is what this kitty is going to be called. Now I have to remember what I'm doing. Oh, this should be fun tonight. This should be really fun. I'm just thinking. Okay, so this is the ear. So this is going to be the pink. This is going to be. Got to make this the gold, and I don't know if I did. I double this. Can't remember if I did or not. Don't think I did. I gotta see if we did, because we did. I did this a while back ago, and I can't remember. I doubled it. I don't think I did. I'll be able to tell in a minute. I don't think I doubled that fabric. It doesn't look like I did. I know I doubled that fabric. I know I think I doubled this fabric. Did I double the ears? I can't remember. I'll be able to tell in a minute when I put it on. Hi Otto, welcome on in. We're working on the kitty. We actually took the other one down to the our first piece is down in the Amish country. Let me do this part here first because that one is certainly doubled. And I know I have the recap show. They have to be done, but I'm hoping to try to get them done tomorrow. And I've got to work on Christina's ones that she wants me to work on. But it's not happening tonight. I don't know. She asked me that. I go, Mom, what are you doing? I said, as soon as I can. I said, I've got to. You gotta give me a moment. I will. So I'll try to do that tomorrow. But I trying to finish pieces tonight for that is just not happening. I'm too tired for it. So I fell asleep about 2:00 in the morning. After I got all the soap caddies hung up. And Christina called me at 8:00, like 8:30, 9:00 this morning. After I realized I also needed to get up because we had to get down to the Amish country and get those things delivered. And so anyway, so that was, we had to go down there. And we did that. But I am not going to be on here terribly long tonight. It's not going to be a long one. I need to get to a seam ripper. Yeah, it sounds so weird. I never thought I would say that. So it was, that piece was very much like down in there. And they said they had something, it was called Sewing Magic. And I have to look what it's about because they said they did very well down there. Yeah, but they stopped carrying it, so I'm gonna have to look that up. Remember, y'all, and I can't stress it enough, that just because I'm doing this, don't forget the importance of coming in here and chit chatting. You never have to pick up a seam ripper, but coming in and making those connections. I was on Tuber Chat. It's kind of why I kept postponing tonight because I wanted to just catch up with everybody and so forth. And he was talking about it, and he says, we go on to Tuber Chat. Gotta move this over. It's too short. We go into Tuber Chat, and he said the only reason I really run channels on the Tuber Chat is, he said, because it gives us something to look at for 3 hours. He said, I don't really do that for any other purpose but to, have you all, and we look at the channels and you get to see them. But the magic happens in the chat. That's where you're making your connections from, is in the chat. He said, the reason we look at channels is not to put people on, on the screen. It's so that we have something to look at while people are making all the connections in the chat. That's what the value of that channel. He said, not a lot of people, I mean, we don't do a lot of replay, people that come back to the replay, watching the replay, because it works best while people are live and they come in there and they chit chat and they talk and they get to know each other, and they help each other with playlists and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what this is doing, in the same thing. Even though we're not kind of exposing, or we're having your channel up on a screen, we're offering a place for you all to come in and connect. Now, different from Tuber Chat, because Tuber Chat, and if you all aren't connected with Kevin at Tuber Chat, you need to. Tuber Chat is a tremendous place for people that are trying to build channels and trying to have other people and other people that are kind of in the same boat they are and understanding all the stuff that comes with it. And we would not be where we are today without Tuber Chat. I can guarantee you right now. But it's different here because if you're trying to grow a channel, you're going to meet other people. I can guarantee you in the content in the community. But you're also going to just find people that are just wanting to don't have a channel. They're not interested in growing a channel, but they want to have that connection that they um, really need. And they just want to have fun. They want to talk. They want to chat. And the more that we could get shared out, the more people can come in here and just, chit chat with each other and talk with each other and interact. YouTube will see it. Oh, we're going to push this channel out more and more people will come in here. And if you're somebody that's trying to grow a channel, if you can just come in and connect and ask people how they're doing and ask how their day is going, I guarantee you that will go over further. If you want to just come in and say hello and drop your channel, people are going to recognize, well, they're only in here to get their channel up. And if you think that'll be it, you just want to go around YouTube to places like us and drop your channel and say hi, drop your channel and leave, that's not going to get you anywhere. You're not going to get the success you're going to get by making sure that you have people that you're connecting with. Because then they'll come over and connect with you and they will support you when they see you supporting other people. And that's one thing that we have heard repetitively, not just once on the YouTube streets for us with Blessed to Crochet, but repetitively we have heard over and over again how absolutely supportive we are of people within the YouTube streets community. And that's what matters. You will make people and you will make friends and you will make connections and you will have support and it will come back at you if you do it. I've got to see if I doubled this. I don't think I did, but I cannot remember at this point if I did. I don't think it was doubled, but I can't. I've got to unfortunately pull it back and see. I don't think it was. Doesn't look like it was. No, it wasn't doubled. I just couldn't tell. And I couldn't remember. It was a while back. But you will make more, you will absolutely be more of an impact if you do that than if you just say, I'm just going to come into a chat, say hi, drop my link and leave. And everybody has said, I've heard it just over and over again from not only people that, if I go into other chats and people just say, Mary, this Blessed to Crochet is just so supportive of so many people. We try. I don't know if we always try to make it, but we try. We certainly give it our all. Now, I may have to go back to that live and look, see if we did. Because I don't think I did. But I can't remember if I did now. And I don't want to put this piece down. I don't think I did, but I can't remember. I simply cannot remember. Let me look. Go back to where I got it. see if I did. I don't think I doubled it, but I can't tell from looking it up if I did or not. Let me go back to her live and I'll see if I did or not. There we go. I gotta see if I did. I don't think I did, but thankfully I've got it on here so I can see what I did. Can't remember if I did the pink or not. There's me making the window. Let me blow it up so I can see it. I'm still making the window. Still making the window. There we go. Get a bigger piece down there. I don't think I did. I have to go back and see. Just like slightest piece back. I don't think I did though. I don't see me pulling out my spray, so I doubt I did. So the answer is no, I did not. I will keep that up in case I feel like I need to reference it again. I just couldn't tell. So I would recommend that if you're working on a piece and you have to put it away for a while, have some kind of little notation someplace. If you had to put another, if you had to put a thinner layer behind it, I honestly couldn't tell you. If you haven't been able to tell, it's getting darker sooner. And we were out and about. I'm like, I started seeing fall leaves. I was like jumping for joy. Josh was like, yeah, because it's been really dry. But I was like, look, fall leaves. But anyway, it's just if I can encourage anybody that is just find chats like us, these chats that you can find like this, you may think she's doing something that I may not be totally interested in. But here's the thing too, by sharing us out and getting the chat for people to come in, I need to make that piece bigger. Because it may be just a little bit smaller than what I need. May have to use it on, I don't know why. Hold on a second. There's a cut happening right here that I didn't put on here. So let's move this actually, because it's just, let's see what we need. But if you can find people like these kind of chats, share them out, tell people about them, then you can come in within the community. And when you have people coming in and people start coming in and chit chatting, guess what happens? The algorithm says, "Wait a minute, that chat's happened," and they'll send it out. They'll push us out further. So it's not. It's like Tuber Chat. It's not what he is doing on the screen. It's the conversations that are happening inside the chat that make Tuber Chat what it is. And Blessed to Crochet is the same way. It's not about what's on the screen or what we're doing. It's about you guys coming in. And it's not just about growing channels, but it's growing your channel. It's about growing and helping each other. And you never have to pick up a crochet hook. You never have to pick up a seam ripper. But we can all talk to each other and build those connections, because that may be somebody that you will really connect with well, that will be influential in your channel for support and success too. Let's see, I may have to redo that because it's just, I'm gonna have to redo that. But unfortunately, the tacky parts out. That's why I keep little extra little pieces of stuff. Since if I've done something like that, cut the fabric just a little bit too tiny, I can put it so anyway. There we are. I am. Like I said, I need to come live. So it'll be exciting to see if that piece down in the Amish country goes or not. All right, let's try to get a piece that's not too short. Of course, I was trying to save this fabric for Thanksgiving or Christmas, fall, but it may not save very much for fall. We were going through it. And Christina took some of it too. All right, I'm going to kind of do a little bit bigger piece for both of them because they have to kind of. Okay. Let's try that. Actually, that should be one whole piece. That part right there, I don't know why. Has to be cut down the middle, but it shouldn't have to be cut. That's around there. That should be cut down the middle, but that whole piece. No, that's not. I see what it's parts to be in it. Part of the inner ear. I see it now. But it's helpful to have your pattern handy because you can tell if you've got a piece. But it's such a tiny piece that. Okay, this time. Well, let's put this a little bit more kind of like that. That way I can hit my other piece with what's kind of left over because it's such a tiny piece. Okay, that should work a lot better. So anyway, like I said, y'all, I'm trying to, just kind of give what I have learned over my time on YouTube. It's not the easiest place, but if you find the right community, you find a supportive community, you've you found it. It needs to come down. May not be anything left by the time I get done with this one. Trying to, we'll make it work, but it's going to be a little bit of a crushed piece because I'm trying not to crush the piece next to it. But I think I'm kind of introvertedly no, not introvertedly, but like my brain is on sleep mode, right? It's like, Mary, I need a nap, but there was no time for a nap today. But and I've got to practice my flute tomorrow, but it's not happening tonight. Not one bit. I think, and they've sold a couple soap caddies now at that place, which was nice to see. Kind of, this one's going to be a tricky piece because it kind of got damaged from there, but we're going to make it work. That little piece is just not going to go in. And I'm not redoing it again because I'll ruin it even more because it's just. I'm going to have to get some glue on that one because it's just not going to. It's got this one and that one, and it's just, I've done it about 2 times. It seems to be the ongoing problem there. So we may have to make a little bit of a patchwork part, which we've done before in pieces. And we're going to do again once we get it in here. Because if I rip it out again, I'm going to really damage it, and I don't want to damage it. So if you have to make a patch, make a patch. It's not going to be the worst thing. And I'm actually going to probably be sending this to Crystal, so with some soap caddies. That was my thought. So we're not making perfect, we're making cute. So this year's been through a little bit of the ringer. Did I get that on the right side? Yep. So if you have to make a patch, you can. I've made patches before. Do I like doing it? No. But it works, and you can blend it in. And now I've got this little piece that's going to be really hard to kind of get in there, but we're going to get it in because otherwise it's not going to work. And it may cover up the patch altogether. You're working with the little pieces, just have to guide them in. I said it may cover up that patch in a minute altogether. Berlin was hopping today. We're trying to get out of there. There was some kind of accident or something that happened. I don't know what happened. We had to go a different route home. How we kind of fix this, but we're in it we gotta fix it. Just don't quite know yet. To make it look halfway decent. I mean, I'm not trying to make it perfect, but I also don't want it to look like it's a wreck. Which, unfortunately, this ear got a little, I'm glad I did it first before I went on to here. And we're going to be doubling up, I think, the next piece of fabric. I have to look. But I think it's a double from this. Actually, now I can tell. Hi, Brenda. I was going to message you and make sure you were doing okay. I thought about you the other day. I was like, I hope she's doing okay, my friend. I've been so busy becoming a grandma that I just haven't. I've been thinking about a couple people going, I got to make sure they're doing okay. Unfortunately, I kind of got the piece of fabric down I should have waited on that piece till we got the other pieces in. This piece, this here's been through some battles, haven't we all? It's been through the ringer. By the time I get done with it, it's gonna be through the ringer. Oh, you are? Well, that's good. Hopefully you're doing well. I've been just thinking about you. I thought I haven't seen her for a while. I hope she's doing okay. This ear is gonna. This, like I said, this ear's had some. It's had something. Having to kind of use what I can to kind of fix it. But we're gonna be stuffing it with the next piece. I'm gonna hold off on fixing it. Oh, that kind of. Okay, before we kind of have to do patchwork over here, which we're going to need to do, we're going to do this piece, which is going to be, we're going to get rid of, we don't need this here. I thought we did, but we don't need that little strip there. We can do this all in one. Well, yeah, we're going to do all this. Well, we're going to do this all in one. No, we did that one. I'm going to go. I'm going to undo my decision. At least we're going to try. Okay. I have just been I had some orders of soap caddies and I had to get done. And then helping my daughter. And so it's just we've been busy, been doing this a lot. And We've been busy. Christina's been doing Kinusaiga too. I think this is the pink. Was this the pink we did? No, that. No, I don't. Was it? Can't tell. Don't think this was the pink. Kind of looks like it. I try to usually keep my fabrics together because when I'm doing so, I think that's the pink I used. But then Christina gets a hold of my fabric and forget trying to keep it organized. And I think that there's a point where you can't. Oh. Now I have to find out which pink. I think that was the pink we did. Oh, this little pile of yarn is growing, you know. I know we're using that. We're using that, so we might as well keep that out for a little bit. I don't know how long tonight, because I don't know how long this girl can keep going tonight. But we will go for as long as I can tolerate it. Excuse me. Sorry, y'all. Try not to. Went to bed at 2. Woke up at 8:30 or 8 o'clock. Then Christina woke up and wasn't feeling good. She was talking to me, so I'm ready to go to bed, I think, tonight. But now I gotta find the fabric because I know it's in here. And I had it all organized to a point. And then Christina recently went through this on my fabric that I have, and we get organized. That one right out the window. Okay, that's that. And I'm trying to, I think that's the pink though that I used. I think. I'm going through here just to double check. And we have teapot fabric. And it's for the eyes. We're using this. That was for the curtains. When the yogurt, I said to Christina, I went to battle for your yogurt. I didn't know that was going to hurt so bad. It slammed across my chest, took the knock the breath out of me, I tell you. It's not in any of that. It's got to be that color. And I got to find the green. Because, I mean, it literally knocked the wind out of me. Josh was standing right by me and it was up and I brought it down and came down and it just went smack. And I'm like, ugh. Looked at me like, are you okay? And I'm like, kind of. I did tell her to watch out. Well, I was kind of irritated and I was kind of frustrated because I usually do a cart around there because by the time I get done, I'm so sore I can't do much. And they were out of carts. I kind of just had, I think that's the pink I used. Because it's not that pink. Has to be that pink that we used. You know why it probably looks different because there's no weight behind it. So anyway, it just took my breath away, I'm telling you. I'm just not happy. So I did get my cushion from my tushy today. I'll tell you all how I like it. So far, it's at least it's a little bit of a cushion for. But I think I broke the cushion. The cushion that used to be in this chair is no longer here because we've sat in it doing Kinusaiga too much. I think that's what I think that's it looks like that's what it is because it's not in here. Never had. Well, it had somewhat. No. Bad mud. Husbands have to argue with you. It made my tail hurt. Well, you don't have any cushion, so that's your problem. And he doesn't, you know. That's a family trait of his that his father's side of the family. There is no. God grants me a lot of things. That's not one of them. Rear end was not one of them. So I do have some. He does. So sitting in this chair, even though it's much more comfortable than the chair we had for the that we were sitting on there till I sat over here, but it still isn't enough. It was still like I'm getting really sore sitting here. So let's get something. It was only $16 on Amazon. Oh, anyway. But I'm really hoping that people, that maybe some people will be, because I did put the post up, willing to kind of come on here so we can do this and just chit chat talk. I think that's the same pink. At least I hope it is. Looks like it is. Just looks different. I don't know why. It's the only pink that there is in there. There's nothing else in there. So I wouldn't have put it back in my other pile. So we're going to go with it and hope I got the right pink. Just looks different. But I don't see any other pink in there. There's no other pink I have. So it has to be this one. And I know it's doubled. At least I think it's doubled. Well, we're going to double check the double. Note to self. Use either your back of your pattern and make notes for yourself if you double some. Because I literally cannot remember. I'm thinking maybe that's why it looks different. If it isn't, then I'm gonna save this. Okay. Even though it's got stuff on the back, it'll be fine. I'll put it in my scrap pile. I just cannot. Oh, okay. It's got enough. I'm watching it to see if it does, because I'm thinking maybe I didn't put any stuff on the back. I may have to put a little tacky on there. It's kind of. I'm watching it. I gotta watch it for a minute and see if there is. I can tell because I moved the spray away from there if I did put anything on it. I can't remember if I did. Yeah, that's the pink. Tell the pink finally. I don't think I did actually. So no, I didn't. So I'm gonna put this because I don't want to waste this. And I will stop keeping with the thing because I don't want to waste it. I can always use it some possible, maybe for a nose for somebody or something. But that's why it looks different. I never use my fabric scissors if I need to cut a little bit of the stuff. I never use my fabric scissors for that. It's all good. Made there's labels on them shelves so I know which shelf is what. Of course, if I think Sleepy, it would be fine. So keep a little bit of that extra paper if you have extra. You will. Okay, now we got our, well, got some of it back. But if Brenda, if you're still here, I don't know if you heard, but we did get back to partial monetization, which is yay. We didn't get a full yet, but we're at least back halfway. Now that looks more like, that's why it was looking different because we were trying to do the double. And that's why it was looking different. I did purposely didn't want it to have that double. So, but that's a good note to self. If you're walking away, especially like, I think if I had done this pattern and then come back to it pretty quickly, I would have remembered it. But because I kind of walked away from it for a couple of days. Yep. So we have memberships and we have super chats back. We just have to we still have to work towards full monetization, but there is light at end of tunnel, finally, after months and months of whatever YouTube was deciding it wanted to pull. And we went forward, and I'm telling you, I am so grateful to my community that didn't let me quit and didn't let me give up. And I'm really, really can't thank you all enough from the bottom of our hearts because there were times where I felt like quitting, and you all just said, nope, you got to keep pressing forward. So thank you for just, you were all the reasons why I didn't give up. You know, it was our community and the strength of our community and you guys that just said, nope, you got to press on. And I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And I'm very grateful. And I want to say thank you. So we got there. We'll get the rest done. It will happen. You know, we have to do a little patch because you know what? This little kitty, this little kitty had a little bit of an issue with his ear. And we're going to fix it. But I realized that me trying to pull that up again for the third time was probably not the wisest thing I could do. So I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful. I'm just tremendously grateful. So, but it was our community that kept me going when it wasn't easy. And there was times where it wasn't. And there was times where I felt like it was never going to happen. And then recently, when they said, yes, you can apply for it again, I thought, great. And then, yes. And then I thought, then it was taking a couple days for them to come back. And I'm like, well, maybe there's a problem and we won't. And they came. I thought it'd be really cool if it happened while we were live. And I checked it while we were live the other night. And I was like, yeah, we got it. And I was like, well, couldn't happen at a better time. So we're gonna party when we become back to full monetization. We're just gonna go with this ear having a little bit of a gotten a cat fight. This cat's got a little 9 lives to it, right? But if you have to make a patch, I've done it. Do I like doing patches? No. Can I make it look like it's not there? Yes. Do you want it to be perfect and not have a patch? Yes. But sometimes, like for this, if I ripped it out and tried to do it, I've tried to do it twice and it's not working. Unfortunately, it's going to be this way because of the way the piece came together. So you can make patches. You don't want to make patches, but if you have to, you can make them. And of course, if I can get that piece to cooperate, it would be golden, right? I'm having to kind of be a little bit more, having to work through this a little bit because it's just having to be a little delicate with the kitties here because it just needs a little TLC. And then you have to let the glitter dry, and it will. And it will be fine. I can usually kind of feather it in. I can get it to actually go down. But thankfully, this is not a dark piece of fabric because I've noticed with the dark pieces of fabric, you really have to watch the glue. But with the lighter ones, there's not that much of a problem. And you can get them to, with the lighter fabric, you can be a little bit more heavy-handed on the glue. Even though it dries clear, you can see a little bit of a residue with the darker fabric. That's why water works great. It solves the problem. So I'm just making sure that we're kind of getting the edges so we don't fray, and then we'll get it. It'll go. And for the most part, you're not going to notice, unfortunately. I may have to, it's not going to work. Needs a bigger piece of fabric. That's part of the problem. So let's get a bigger piece of fabric working. As I've tried. That tip of that ear just does not want to do what I want it to do. It's being a tough cookie, that's for sure. And that is going to be too big of a piece of fabric. Just wasn't cooperating. But I need it to work. It will work eventually when I get done with it. Uh-huh. It's like gold. It's like gold. It's like orange, but it's like gold. And it seems to be, with most of my pieces that I've done, I have some kind of sparkle fabric. So that kind of seems to be every time I've done one of these, I have a sparkle piece of fabric that goes on. So we're going to go with it. So it's going to be one of my signatures is that we always have a piece of glitter fabric that goes on. So if you're going to do a little bit of a patchwork, you don't want it too big because you don't want it obvious that you've had to make a patch. But if you have to, you also don't want to be too small. It's kind of like a very fine line. And if it's a neutral fabric, I think the patches work better than being like a printed fabric where you can really see it. But it just got to be a funky area. Just having to make it work. Okay. That's going to have to do the job because I don't have a choice. And we'll be able to hide that. And then once you get it on there, you take the glue around the place that kind of is the connecting, because that part will fray if you don't put a little bit of glue over it. And that's where you can kind of take your tool, your glue tool, more than your fabric tool, your seam ripper. And I'm dumping a lot more glue on this than I would if it was a dark piece, because you're not going to, the dark, you kind of have a little bit more difficulty because it's, you'll see it. This is kind of going to fade right in. And then see, I'm going to take my seam ripper after that and kind of get the glue out. And then you may see it if you look at it close, but you may not. And then you need to walk away and let the glue do its job, which I have a very hard time doing. I want it to just set right away, and it's not going to do that right away. All right, so now, for the most part, once the glue dries, it almost looks like one piece. You really won't notice it too much. And that's how you kind of make a patch if you have to do a patch, which I don't like doing them too much, but that one was absolutely out of my control. I was going to need to do a patch on that. Wasn't going to happen any other way. All right. So, and for the most part, I have not had to make too many patches, but that was going to be a patch because the material for some reason just got destroyed. And I had to fix it. So thankfully, I'm not allergic to this kitty. I can't really be around kitties, and Josh is highly allergic to cats. Like, really, really bad. You get there. Oh, you like cats, they just don't like your allergies. my tea. So there is going to be a little change. I was talking about that last night. On Tuesdays for a little bit, we may be doing like a connect and grow on the road. But we're not going to be coming live on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, on Wednesday, we're going to start doing something that's just going to kind of be Kinusaiga, but just kind of in, not in pajamas, but I have some things that are just really comfortable. And sometimes when I'm hurt and I know I'm going to be sore on Wednesdays, just because I'm going to be just the way it's going to be happening. Um, and I'm going to eventually go to it's not Kroger, it's Kohl's. Kohl's has loungewear, and I wore one the other day, and it doesn't look like loungewear. It's just comfortable, and I want to be able to get a couple more of those. And we're just gonna kind of craft and you know craft and come in your comfy clothes, and we're just gonna make it really kind of casual. So. But we'll start doing that because I can guarantee you on Wednesday I'm going to be a little sore. And I'm just going to need comfy, cozy. And so that's going to be it. And we're going to kind of be doing a lot of stuff from home for just personal reasons. Hi, Handy. Hey, Jackie. Welcome on in. So we're just working on the cat. I have a cross I want to be working on pretty soon here for somebody, but it requires me to actually cut the pattern out. And we were at the Amish country tonight or today dropping off soap caddies, and I got some new fabric. I showed that at the very beginning of the live, and I just thought I need to do a pattern that I don't have to cut out. One that's kind of already cut out, and I can just go for it. Because that's where this girl is tonight. It's been a long day. Been a long day. What time is it? What time is it? Josh? 10 o'clock? Okay, well, we're not going to be on here too much longer because I think I could go to sleep. Oh, it's funny. When you're young, you fight taking naps. So when you're older, it's like, I can't wait to have a nap. I didn't have a chance for one today, but oh my goodness, I'm just sleepy. And I'm ready to kind of come in and crash. Is 9:55 how many subscribers you have? 'Cause that's awesome. Put a hashtag blessed in the chat. Make sure people are connected with you because people will come back. And if we have the live replay on so people can click on after you leave and connect with your channel. So I know I did give you a shout out recently. Oh, the time. Thank you. This morning I went to bed at 2. Christina called me about 8:30 and she wasn't feeling well. Get a little upset tummy like a stomach bug. So I was talking with her, and then I had my coffee. I made a soap caddy, and then I got the soap caddies ready to go down to the Amish country. Then we went down to the Amish country. Went into the handy went into the Helping Hand craft store down there, or the shop where we have some soap caddies down there. So between all that, I was just, then we came back and, see, I'm not somebody that does really well on about 2 hours, not 2 hours, but like 6 hours sleep. And that's how much I've had. So I'm planning to actually go to bed and go to sleep and go get some sleep tonight. Will be nice. And tomorrow I've got to get up and get juice. I've got kale that has to be taken care of before it goes bad. But I forgot. We forgot to get bags. We need to get Ziploc bags. Mom needs it to put the pizza in from Sam's Club that we froze. I forgot about that. And we got Christina wants to try juice. So I had to make some juice for her and freeze it. And then I'll bring that up on Tuesday when I go see her. But then she has projects. She's like, Mom, when are you going to get those done? So I've got to work on those tomorrow, but I couldn't work on them today. Yes, we do. Excuse me. Well, I was planning to get up at somewhat of a decent time so I could have my coffee, have time to wake up, and then get the soap caddies. The rest of, because we were short by like how many? I think it was like 24 soap caddies that had to be packaged up, and my mom helped with those packaging them up. So I'm like, I wanted to make sure that I could get up and get them packaged up. And, in the summer, the Amish country down in Berlin is busy. It was busy down there today. It's a Friday. People are traveling. People like to go down there. There's a lot of shops. So it's busy down in the Amish country on, today because, people vacation down there. There's hotels down there. So anyway, I knew, and there's something happening, and the lady at the Beehive was talking about it. It's called the quilt. Is it? I forgot what it's called. Where people go to different, I think it's called the quilt hop, if I'm not mistaken. And they have a whole thing. They buy a magazine and they go to different places around the area that are in this magazine, and they go look for fabric, and then they are supposed to get like, different kind of, like the shops are supposed to be giving them something and sign something or whatever. I don't know, but there's all these different shops. So that's happening right now, especially down there. So it was just busy. And then yesterday yesterday was Sam's Club, which is always just busy and tiring for me anyway. And then, no, we don't want to bring that one up again. Trying to bring this one up. And then I was getting some yogurt for Christina, Sam's Club. And hold on a second. I got to really focus on this. And I can't seem to focus and talk tonight at the same time. It's not happening very well tonight. Talking and focusing are not coming together very nicely. I had this problem with the previous ear. I just got to make it look like, there we go. Make it looks like an ear. That's what I think it looks like. It's what it's supposed to look like, so it better look like an ear by the time we get done, right? There, I think that'll look good. It'll kind of look like the other one. Then when we put the fabric, some of this ear will this will all kind of be hidden when we put the other, I think. I'm going to put a little bit of glue. I had to focus on it for just a minute. That looks like an ear. Anyway, we were at Sam's Club and I picked up like an 18 thing box of yogurt, and when it came down off the shelf, it came like right here. And this is so sore. Like all in here is just so between, and of course it's sore because I'm a fibromyalgia patient, but man, alive, does it hurt. So all this is sore. So we were out in the Amish country and Josh just looks at me and goes, "We got to stop and find food because you need to take your medicine." I said, "No, we can wait till we get home." He goes, "No, I'm at like 99 and you look like you're hurting a lot." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." I mean, this is just, he said, Josh is like, "I can't even touch it. It's so, there's no bruise, but he said, you bruised bone here because it just came right here and it actually it knocked the wind out of me when it fell. And it's just really sore." I just, his hand was cold. He put his hand there. Yeah, it made it better. It's not as bad, but man, I mean, my whole body was sore, but this is like the minute I can't even put my hand on it. It's so sore, but it's you can't see a bruise. It's not bruised. There's no bruise on it. It's just, he said you bruised a bone here, like your collarbone. So I'm gonna try to put some ice on it tonight. But he put his hand. His hand was cold, and he put it on. He put his hand like there, and I was like, it's just sore because the whole box just came right down, and it just literally took my breath away when it fell. And I'm like, okay. And he looked at me. He goes, "You okay?" I'm like, "No, maybe." So I will be very careful how I get that box down from the shelf again. I'll tell you that. So he said, you probably bruised your collarbone. I'm like, probably. But man alive, is it sore. But I have to my medicine I take twice a day, or it helps me to, doesn't take the pain away, but it certainly reduces it to a bearable level. I was fighting it, and he was like, "Well, we got to stop by someplace," because he said I'm at 99, and he said when he goes from like 99 or 95 and 80, he he can go from 80 to 20 like that. I mean, he can go very quickly down. So he's like, "I've got to get something to eat." So we stopped off at we were trying to find some place to eat, but we didn't, you know, I was like, I don't want to spend it much because we just didn't have a lot. So we did go to Dairy Queen and we split a chicken tender meal, and then we got I don't they if you haven't gotten the Biscoff or tried the Biscoff, uh we love Biscoff. I found that recently. The Biscoff Blizzard. Oh, it's so good. So we had a small one of that and we split a chicken basket thing. Still more than I wanted to spend, but I had one chicken tender and I ate the fries and he ate the toast and then we had the little thing. But actually there was this one restaurant we wanted to try, and if we had, and I'd have been tempted to try it. Maybe down in the future we'll have to. And I didn't know they had it, but on the weekends they have prime rib, and I was like, We'll have to try that. You know, I wouldn't have had the funds to try it right now, but I thought my daughter loves prime rib, and I thought we would have to just try it one of these times down the road. Yep. And if it's really good, then we would have to bring her down one time. Because when she was a little baby, she still loves prime rib. She was a little baby. She had, we took her to J. Alexandra's. And the gentleman that you'll hear a lot in a lot of our videos that does our intro and outro, we would go with Scott Thompson. And so we would go to J. Alexandra's. He loved prime rib. They have excellent prime rib. So we go. Well, she was probably like 3 or 4, something like that. And I ordered a prime rib. My grandmother ordered a prime rib. I think my grandmother and my mother ordered a prime rib sandwich. I ordered a prime rib. And I'm thinking, okay, Christina can have some of my prime rib and we'll be good. My mother and I could not cut the prime rib up fast enough. And that child would just go, more, 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 more. She ate more prime rib than we did. Couldn't get enough prime rib in her. It was just more, more. She loved it. She's loved prime rib ever since. And there's a place near our house that on Christmas we'll order the prime rib and it's seasoned and everything, and then we put it in the oven. And last year we couldn't have it because Christina was expecting. So because of that, you have to be very careful when you are with the temperature of meat that's cooked. So I didn't want to be responsible for not cooking the meat enough for her to have the prime rib, and the fact that she was expecting and all that. I just don't want to deal with that. So, but we get it from that place, and then we just throw it in the oven and we heat it up. We just follow the directions, and it's usually delicious, and that's what we have. And we get a bag of shrimp from the Sam's Club, and that's what we have for Christmas. She was like, Mom, next year we better have the prime rib. She's never been somebody that's likes ham. She wasn't a ham girl. She didn't like ham. She wasn't somebody that likes ham at all. I mean, she'll eat it, but it's not like her favorite thing in the world. She's not somebody that likes ham. And when we were having Thanksgiving or Christmas, we always, when I was growing up, we had honey baked ham. I haven't had a honey baked ham in years. But we'd have that at Christmas time. We'd always get honey baked ham. But Christina's just never been a girl that liked ham. She liked her flame, her meat. She just didn't like ham. She wasn't a ham girl. So she likes them on sandwiches. She likes them on in the quiche. Just doesn't like ham. She's not like one that would ever cook a ham. She'll have it, but it's not her favorite. So that's what we do for Christmas usually. So we'll get that and do that. All right. Well, have a great day, Jackie. Thank you for coming in. Our great night. It is. All right. And I'm probably not going to stay on here too much longer either because I'm probably going to end up going to bed here shortly. Now, I did that because you had the green beside it. I thought if you So I have to think of the rest of it. This and this is going to be pink. I think here and here we're going to use this. I don't know what I'm going to use on the wall yet. I haven't decided the wall yet. And then I think what we'll do is use the we'll use the brown over here. We're definitely going to use that and that color on these two cheeks, two sides here. I just don't know if we put the brown here, I don't think you're going to necessarily see the eyes. Let's take the brown here. We're going to do that little silver or the stars on this side and that side. And then for this and this, we're going to use the lighter, that gold color. I don't know what I'm going to do for the background yet. I can't even fathom that right now. I can't. All right. We're going to finish this and this with that. And then I think I'm going to head off to bed. Oof. I think I'm getting sleepy, which this has been very relaxing. It is so relaxing to do this. I think I'm getting sleepy. And then we'll figure out the background when I'm not half asleep. I'm now like relaxing from the day, and I'm going, okay. All of a sudden, I'm getting relatively sleepy a little bit. Okay. This one, I know I doubled up. I don't need to look at the video for that. I always move that out of the way because I don't want any spray on the fabric that's already on the thing. So I always move it away every time I do it. I'm going to go have my prunes, which I have them every night. Those are a great source of calcium. And I'm going to go have my milk and graham crackers. And I've already had my medicine, so I can't have that yet. Then I'm going to go to bed because I'm ready for it. Do I have a shower? I'm going to go get ice with my little boo-boo. And then I'm going to go to bed. I'm ready for it. I could stay up and do a couple more sub caddies, but I think I need to go to bed. I really do. Do them in the morning. I've got 13. Plus, I did 3 more today. I did one before I left and 2 more on the road down there. So that's 18. So I can build up my stock again. Told them, I said, I'm working on my stock again. So my mother said, all those soap caddies, I didn't know where they would go. I said, well, God had a plan for them. But there's a part of me that I said to Josh today, I'm like, I was kind of nervous because I did go out and buy some more cotton yarn and kind of a significant amount. I've been a firm, so that I could just pay it over time as it happens. But I'm like, I kind of sat there going, well, should I? I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was like more than I've spent on. I usually go in, if I'm going to buy yarn, I buy like $30. I spent a little bit more than that. And Josh was like, Mary, if you don't get enough, and when they call you in like 3 weeks to a month, especially as the holidays are coming up, and you have people and it's going to get busy down there, and people are shopping, and they have 5 different locations and so forth. And I said, they're gonna call you up and tell you we need more, and you're not gonna have them. And he said, this is a pretty big client down there because it's got 5 different stores, got 5 different things. And he said, you're probably, and of course, all the revenue goes to Mama. He said, you're gonna be wishing that you had just gone ahead and did it. And I'm like, you're right. He said, I would rather you have them. I'd rather you be ahead than behind. Because then when they call up and said, we'll take X amount more, because it was a pretty substantial amount, he said, it takes you 20 minutes to make one. And he said, you would if they needed it in like a week, you're going to be really pumping and grinding them out. But he said, that's all you're going to be doing. And he said, that's not good. It's not healthy. So he said, we'll figure it all out, but you're better off to just have done it. And he said, start making them. And if they don't, then they don't. And you'll find some other place. But I think that most likely I can see absolutely happening. So you're better off to do it and then not. And I agree with him. It's a walk, literally a walk in faith. It's like, okay, which is part of life. Honestly, you're walking and just going, okay, God, direct me. So that's what I kind of did. I thought, well, you're right. I'd rather be ahead than behind. Just kind of having to, sometimes you have to kind of be very cautious to use how you use the tool for the glue, because it can, like I said before, it can literally put a hole like right through. But it does help to have it, because sometimes you do need a little bit of. I find out that usually in the round parts where you've got to kind of make a round, you've got to go round in the round part, it does help to make it kind of round. That looks so cool. It makes that eye pop. Because I think if I put a dark color next to the brown, you wouldn't have seen it. I'm giving the thing a facelift. Sometimes you have to. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do, but actually it worked out. So I needed to bring the eye up a little bit. Kind of got sunken down in there from all the. And I'm just, because of what I had to do, we're gonna. I've tried to tell my daughter about this. Don't rush. Take your time. When you're, because rushing is not a good thing. Sometimes you just have to take your time. Sometimes she just needs a little bit of TLC, some areas. Then we're going to do this side over here. It's just, we can get that little piece down. Without kind of, there we go. Just a little piece right there. That's better. Guess I questioned myself a little bit, but there we go. We're going to take just a little bit of glue. Why not take our best friend? I'm going to get it underneath there a little bit so that we make sure that we're not going to lose the eye coming out of there. Because I kind of have a hole now. I kind of had to wiggle it and finagle it a little bit, but we're going to make it work. Okay. So let's stick a little bit extra glue in there. Because it just needs it. Make sure that we're not going to wind up with a little bit of regret later when it comes to not securing it. And it's going to pop out. Okay, we're going to do this piece here. And then I'm going to stop for tonight, go to bed. And then tomorrow, probably about the same time, try to come on about 7 o'clock. And I want to work on, not that I don't want to work on the kitty, because I do, but I also want to work on that cross too. So we'll see which one we do. Hi, Alaskan. Welcome on in. We were able to finally get partially monetized the other night. Yay! So thank you to our amazing community. We're not fully monetized yet, back again, but we got partial back. So it's about time that we did. So we are back to partial, not full. But we are, you've not seen me work on, yeah, we're partial. We're not all the way yet. We still need watch hours to get to full, but I'll take partial for right now. It happened right here on live. I went in, I'm like, hey. Yep. But if you've never seen us do this is called Kinusaiga. And it's the art of tacking fabric into foam board. And this is one of the many pieces that we've done. We've done this one. So let's kind of make this one for Mama. The tilted teacups. I don't know why I want to call these teapots. I do it all the time. I don't know why. These are with tilted teacups. I got this one that we're working on, which is the goose, the summer goose. I've got to finish outlining it though. And then the winter goose. We're going to be doing winter goose. And then this one we're working on Facebook. That's our fish. Mm-hmm. My daughter has started doing it. So this is her pickle. Yeah, these things are awesome. They're so much fun to do. And if you're familiar with Once Upon a Time, that's from Once Upon a Time. So, and we're going to be doing more patterns. It's done on foam board, which is similar to what you find in the home improvement store. This one I'm working on is a kitty. Oh, wait, I did the wrong thing. I'm not thinking. I did the wrong thing. It's the wrong color there. I'll use that eventually, but that's not the right one. It's time for me to go to bed. Been a long day. So, as I'm trying to, I'm in official grandma brain mode, I think. I am officially a grandmother. And I think I'm in grandma brain mode. I said that to the people that when we dropped the soap caddies off today, because there was a little bit of a miscommunication. I said, I am so sorry. I said, I'm in trying to help my daughter with new grandbaby. And I said, hey, Mickey's Adventures, welcome on in. You can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. We have gotten back to partial monetization as of the other day. We're not to full monetization yet, but partial, I will take it. So, yay, yay, yay. And then without our awesome community, we wouldn't have done it. Because of you guys that we're back to where we are. And I appreciate it more than you know. And if you're not familiar with what I'm doing, it's called Kinusaiga. Hi, Alfonso. I'm not the same age as you. I've told you that before. But even though I celebrate my 29th birthday over and over again, I'm not the same age as you. I'm older. But I ain't telling you what my age is. I just tell people I'm celebrating my 29th birthday again. And again and again and again. But we got back to partial monetization the other day. Finally, we're not to full monetization, but we got back to partial. So memberships are back up, running. Super chats are back up and running. If we're back up to gifts or gems or rubies or whatever the heck you want to call it. All that stuff is back. So we're about 900 hours away from being fully monetized. I'm ready for it. Believe me, I am ready for it. Got that's a little bit too short. Dang on it, but I can somewhat fix it. When I get done with it, you won't notice it. Make a boo-boo. We're not perfect. Nobody's ever going to try to be perfect. And if you try to make this perfect, you're going to lose the problem is if you take it away and you try to make it perfect, you're going to lose the handmade aspect of it, and it's not going to be perfect. So do the best you can. You're going to make mistakes on stuff, but we can make it as nice as we can make it, but we're not trying to go for perfect. Because when you realize perfect doesn't exist, it's so freeing to realize we can't be perfect. That only happened when we wind up in heaven. Believe what you want to believe. That's what I believe. Until then, I'm not trying to be perfect. I have enough trouble just being me. There's only one me. Sometimes I have to do Kinusaiga facelifts. That's what I call them. Call them Kinusaiga facelifts. Sometimes the foam gets stuck in places and it just needs a little bit of a upper hand. And sometimes you have to kind of open, especially with these thicker pieces. And then you also have the glue, and you can make things come together or stick or go down where it's supposed to go down with glue. Nobody knows the difference. That'd be nice. It'd be really helpful. But I don't think I want to clone myself. If cloning was a thing, God would have done that, and he didn't. So I'm not supposed to be cloned. And if people know me enough, they think I'm a wonderful person. They also tell me that they're very thankful there's just one of me. And my husband would probably be like, I am thankful I only deal with one. So if God was supposed to, if we were supposed to be cloned, God would have made more than one of Adam, and he didn't. So I'm just thankful there's one of me. And I just think of all the people that have been born in this world. I think we are only supposed to be one. And so if you try to be more than yourself, you're going to fail miserably at it. But if we also are trying to do perfect, we're going to run into problems. So that's why I try to tell people, I try to make this as nice as I possibly can. I want every line to be perfect. But if I make it totally perfect, I've taken out the homemade element of it. I've taken out the element that makes it look handmade. And I don't want it to look like that. I want it to look like somebody's hands were on it. And did they do it perfectly? No, but they did it pretty good. I mean, I took one down to the place down in Berlin where we're commissioned down there. And the ladies were very impressed. So we'll see what happens with it down there. Okay. I don't know. I've got that. And I think I want to do, because I think it's going to look better. So we're going to use this little piece right here. I know I said I wasn't going to do anymore, but that piece is going to get lost. And it'd be easier, I think, to do this piece first, because then the mouth and the other are very tiny pieces. So would I recommend this for a new person? I'm going to be uploading. Yep, I agree. I'll fail if we try to be anybody else than what God made us to be. So, would I recommend this for somebody who's never done this? No. I would say don't make this your first piece. I'm going to be uploading the one we did that I took down to the store. It's a quilt square kind of item, and it's really a simple piece. It would be really easy for somebody that's never done this before. But I would tell you something like this. It's not going to be one that I would say, yeah, just jump on doing the first one. Nope. because you need to just learn how to tuck and how to do that before you're trying to do like really tiny parts, because they come with a little bit of a technique. They're not impossible. They just take a little bit of a gentle hand for sure. Mhm. But because the eye is here, I don't want to also make it where you can't see the eye. So I'm having to be very careful on that side because that's where that tiny piece is going to be for the nose. And I don't want to totally bury it either, because it'll be hard to get. So I'm lifting this piece up here to kind of see. So I can be very careful how I put it in. So see, this is the mouthpiece right here. So I'm going to be very careful how I'm going to put that in. Because if I start like really pressing down a little bit hard there, it's gonna sink it in, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna use this a little bit. Just be very careful when you're using these tools. They're in our fabric list, but they'll if you use them too hard, they will go right through the piece, or the foam. Polystyrene to be exact. But if the pieces like the one that I'm working next, I kind of had to kind of put white underneath that piece. So because of that, it's a little thick. So that's where I'm using this, because it just needs a little bit more of a tougher thing. I mean, very careful how I hit that, because I think it's just going to need it. And two, if you look, I mean, when you're looking down, you're seeing things that people, when they're looking at like this, are not going to see, because you're looking down in the crevices. Doesn't mean that you don't need to have your stuff be neat and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes you need to pick it up and look at it, because looking at it from a different angle makes a difference. Now, I am going to see if we can do this one, because I'm in the mood for a second. And the other little piece. I think those will have to be done before we try to put the other thing in. Which I don't know what that's going to be yet. Where did my pink go? I'm using the same pink for the ears as the mouth, because I think it'll just be better. But it is a very, very tiny piece. And so is the mouth. So wish me luck. One thing too with tiny pieces is don't necessarily worry about how much fabric you have. Have a little bit extra, because it's gonna be needed. I mean, you can see what's happening with it. And if you didn't have styrofoam, it would be, or polystyrene, it'd even be worse. You couldn't get it to stick. So don't worry about the fabric. I wouldn't do a huge chunk because you're going to be cutting it down, but I wouldn't also have also be in a position of necessarily worrying about the size of the fabric. I mean, if you try to put too much down there, it's not going to fit. But I'm not necessarily spending my time worrying about the amount. When I thought about this pattern, I thought maybe I shouldn't put the nose in there, but I didn't know else how to do it either. Okay, so we're going to go down this side. I did cut it just to get, but you have to handle it with a little bit of gentleness because and you just take your time when you're working with the finer pieces because you don't want to rush them either. Because it'll be cute as could be. But you got to have a little bit of patience with them. And then I'm going to use a little bit of glue because that will help with, see all the little strings happening? So if I use the glue, first of all, add a little weight to it. And I'd be also very careful if you're dealing with a darker fabric because the glue may be something you can see on it, but now we've got the nose. And it's because we've taken our time and we haven't tried to rush it. You can't rush this. The small pieces you can't rush. You've got to take your time with them. Because otherwise they're going to especially when you're dealing with that little fine. And then what you can do is take your seam ripper, get underneath it a little bit, because then that'll help too to bring it up if it's kind of been put down. And then we're going to get this side. We're going to put and if it comes up, we've done it before. We've just made sure that we've glued it in place and it'll be fine. Because I can kind of see it's coming up a little bit. But I'd rather it up than just take your time. And if you have to, it's not a big deal. I'm going to take a little bit of glue and I'm going to purposely kind of get it underneath the thing a little bit. Because I do want to I'd rather have it up than down because then it'll look, just you got to take your time. Okay, so it's looking better. I'm going to go back again and get it up because, say now we got the nose. It's kind of settled in place. Perfect nose? No. Cute nose? Yes. And it's not going to come out of there for sure. And if you want to, take your little bit of glue and you can just put it around. I'm going to take this side. I'm going to kind of we're kind of putting it underneath there a little bit so that we make sure that it's not going anywhere. And I don't think it is. We just want to make sure that it's adorable. You got a nose. That's cute. So the mouth is going to be even tinier. But I just didn't know how else to do it. You got to have a mouth and you got to have the nose. So like I said, and what you could do is if you got this pattern, I will put the nose and mouth on it. And if you didn't want to deal with the mouth and nose being as tiny as it is, you could take it and just do it all kind of one piece and then paint on the nose. I've seen people take like that puff paint and they do it. So you could take, if you're like, I don't want to deal with something that tiny when you get it. I think what I will do with this is kind of, well, I will put a note in there that if you didn't want to deal with a nose this tiny, you could just make this whole piece one and then just, you know, you could literally make this whole section one. You wouldn't have to even do the nose. You can make the whole section part of it. But, you know, like I'm going to tell people when they do it, you know, make yours, do yours the way you need it to be done. If you need to make corrections, then make corrections. The only thing we ask is if you're going to do it live, please use the pattern as is. And please make sure that we get notified that that's, you know, you let us know you're going to use it. You tag Blessed to Crochet on any social media. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. And that you please make sure that you write to us and you tag the pattern where people can get it. So as long as you do all those things, you'll be good. But if you had to make that modification, you could. But as long as you make sure that when you're doing it, when you're doing a pattern or not a pattern, but you're doing a small little area, just you got to take your time because it's tiny. But if anything, it shows you can do tiny. But you don't want you don't want to cut the fabric too small, but you also don't want it too not enough because then it's going to kind of roll in a minute. You'll see. And I think it's going to kind of go down in there, but we'll pick it up. We'll lift it up. So I'm doing very carefully. And if you have a little piece and you've seen it before, where it popped right out on me, just glue it back in. It'll be fine. Only you will know about it. Okay, we got the challenging nose and mouth done. So then take this and just really kind of I'm going to pull this up because it's just going to kind of sink down in there. So that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to pull it up, kind of do a little facelift because otherwise you have to use your little tools because you may need them. But overall, it doesn't look that bad. I was kind of thinking it was going to look worse than what it was, but it actually doesn't look too bad. And what I would do is, because we've done this, I would absolutely do the next piece beside it, because otherwise you're going to have the glue. And the glue is going to keep things in place for sure. So it looks adorable. And on this side, get it over a little bit. There we go. Okay, so because we had to kind of use a little bit of glue to make it all fly, we're going to do that piece next to it. So all this, anywhere where we've had to use glue, you're going to want to make sure that you do that piece. So we're going to do this. I kind of learned what I need for certain pieces. And I'm using the lighter fabric around the face a little bit, around the nose, because if I use the dark, you may not see it. Of course, it just all depends, but I think the lighter will make the pink kind of pop a little bit. Plus, I don't want the eyes to be totally where you can't see them. I want to do the other piece on the top, and then I'm going to call it quits tonight. But because I kind of had to do that, I kind of challenged myself to do the nose tonight. I thought I'd better, because when we get in here tomorrow, the glue is going to be in, and it's not going to come out. It's going to stay exactly where you have it, and you're going to have a challenge moving any pieces around tomorrow, because this glue may not set totally right away, but it eventually sets, and it does not go anyplace. So because we're going to kind of get this, you want to, otherwise we're going to get it and it's going to stick. I'm not really worried about the rest of it. I'm just kind of worried about this little section, because we had to use the glue to put the nose in place. So we kind of want to make sure that that's why I did the nose and the mouth before I did this section, because I knew that I was trying to kind of prevent it from being too far down. There we go. Like I said, if you got to, that's what glue is there for. It fixes multiple of problems that nobody will see. See, I'm taking this and I'm putting a little bit of glue underneath the section. I'm taking this and really cleaning it up. I'm not too worried about this side. I'm trying not to put glue where this is happening just yet. I'm because it's not going to be an issue necessarily, but I'm trying to get where I think is going to be an issue. So we're going to take that. And then we're going to hit this other side. I'm going to go that. And then we're going to hit this all the way around. That'll help to secure that there. Then you want to, then you gotta have the mouth. So I call them facelifts because that's what I think. I call them Kinusaiga facelifts. And I think for what I knew was going to be a challenging area, I think it actually came out really cute. Just trying to get this kind of over here just a little more. There we go. Without kind of digging it in too much more. But if I keep messing around with it, we're not going to have any mouth. There we go. And by the time morning comes, it'll be all in there. I'm try to see if I can do it without damaging it. There we go. There we go. See? And then just put the glue, and now we've got it. I'd probably put, if it was light enough, again, if it's light, you're not going to have a problem on the top. But you want to make sure that these sections they're going to be where they're going to be without moving much. And then I'm going to kind of get in here. See if I can pull this up just a little bit. Perfect. All right, now we're going to do this and this because I've had to put glue all around there. And I think, I definitely don't want to use this because I think it'll be too much. And I think definitely going to use this. I think because of the map, we're probably going to use this. Just have it be a neutral fabric all around it. Because I don't want a lot of dark in that area. And then I think it'll blend all in together. So, but because I had to put kind of glue in that section, I do want to make sure that I can get to it. And we had to kind of heavily glue all that. And if you don't hit it, by morning, it's going to be all glued together. And you won't get into where you need to. So let's get that section done. And the reason I'm choosing not, because I thought about using that, this like star pattern in there, is because I don't want something that's going to be thick because I got to double that up and it's going to be a challenge to get it in there. So because of that, I don't want to use something because I've got to be so delicate around that area. And if I've still got to get fabric down there. And if we try to use the thicker part, we're going to really kind of damage it. So we're having to kind of be a little gentle around there. And we've got the eyes. So So because of that, I'm just kind of walking it with a little bit of tender, loving care. I'll take care of the eyes in a minute. Kind of not even worried about the eyes just yet. Because we kind of had to put glue there. And like I said, I would be very careful. I say it every time I use these tools because I don't want people thinking they can use these instead of the seam ripper. But sometimes it just needs, you need a little bit heavier thing to get it in, or sometimes it really helps when you have to round out the edges to use this, but you have to use them with a little bit of TLC because they will go right through the foam to the other side without anything. Really, just they're great. I love having them. They're really helpful, especially when you're trying to get the glue to stick. But you got to be very careful how you use them because they will. You just have to be cautious. You have to use them with a little bit, like I said, a little bit of TLC. And I'm using it for here because and we're going to have to kind of come back in here with the nose and kind of lift it up a minute to get this in there for a second without damaging the thing because we worked so hard to get the nose to be right? Hi, Sandy. Oh my goodness. Well, welcome on in. At least come back and we got memberships going again. I'm thinking about you. Hope you're having fun. Took a while, but we got it. We got partial back. Don't give up and don't quit. That's for sure. Of course, I don't think I came from a thing of women that necessarily quit. You know, it's just came from some pretty strong people. And I'm not going to be on here too much longer. I'm really tired. We've had a busy day. And, but I decided to do the nose. And then when I started to do the nose, it was kind of like, well, I've had to finagle the nose and the mouth. And I've had to use a little bit of glue. And I thought if I don't do this little section here, and then we're going to try to get the fabric in here, we're not going to get it because I've had to kind of finagle it a little bit, but we got it. We got it. No, I was going to put this someplace, but I have no idea now where. Oh boy. I think the nose looks cute. I think the nose and the mouth came out really cute despite my having to finagle something. I think I'm going to leave it just like that. And sometimes you can take the board if you think and just kind of give it a good little smush. Sometimes it needs a squish. Okay. We're going to do this section here because I need to do a little bit of glue. right here. Only because we've had to put the glue kind of in. We've had to finagle the glue here, so we're gonna do this part, and then we're gonna call it quits tonight. And then we're gonna do more browns and the greens on the other body parts, but because we've got the pink and we've got the the black eyes, I didn't want to be able to not see any of that. I thought you're not going to see it if it's all done in brown. We'll probably do this cheek in brown, I think, because we've got this on this side, and I don't think it'll be bad to put brown there, but I wanted to make it light. Well, no, that's still attached to the eye part. I may do that one in the same color because you got the eye right there, and then you won't be able to see it. That's why I originally did it. We might as well finish this part, and then we'll be done with the head. I said, one more piece turns into, well, one more piece. Never stop. Right. I don't know if I'm liking this cushion. I may have to send it back. I don't know if it's arching my back. I'm going to give it a try, but it's not as comfortable as I thought it was going to be. So, I may be returning it, but thought I'd give it a try, but I'm not totally liking it. It's not as what I thought it was going to be, so on the hunt for something else. I'm not liking this. It's gonna come off when I get up because it's arching my back in a funny way. So we're gonna send it back to Amazon and we'll try it. I'll try something else. I have to find a cushion, but it's not gonna be this one. I'm not liking it. But I tried it. It's actually making my back sore, if that's possible. Which is not supposed to be what it's supposed to be doing. Anyway, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna send it back because I'm not as happy with it as I thought it was going to be. So it's not sitting, it's actually making my back sore. I don't know if that's possible, but it is. So it's not the cushion that is going to work for me. So I will be returning it. I'm sitting here going, I'm really not in liking this cushion. And Josh was like, I have foam. I can make you a cushion. I'm like, I don't like your foam. What I should do is get his cushion that he made himself out of the garage, out of the car, and see if I like sitting in it. That's what I need to do before I tell him, yeah, go ahead and make me one. Try to get this piece down. That looks nice without disturbing the nose. Now we gotta get this. Yes, that wasn't expecting that. Like I said, y'all, if that happens, just stick a little, and hopefully I can get it back down. I gave it too much of a facelift. It's fine. If it happens, it happens. And I've been able to fix them before, so we're gonna just you have to be able to put glue underneath it because I just kind of destroyed that one, right? Well, that was like unexpected. I wasn't expecting that to do that to me, but it'll be fine. We'll make it. We'll get it back in position, and nobody will know unless if they watch the stream that I kind of. Thank God it's kind of near the green. This is kind of made a. It's kind of surprised me. That's why I did what I did. I jumped. I was like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to do. It's not supposed to do that. Okay, and thankfully this kind of has black and white in it, so I picked purposely picked kind of a spotty black. Okay, I'm gonna leave that to get all. Right, so because I had to do that, we're gonna, like I said, one more piece. This is truly gonna be the last piece tonight. Because this girl gets tired. And this cushion is not, it's not gonna work. It's just arching my back like a really uncomfortable manner. I do not like it. It's like making me go forward like this. That's not my hope. It's not gonna work. And fortunately, then we'll be done with the entire face by this time. By doing this tonight. Be careful. I did this just a little bit too shy, but I can make it work, I think. Maybe you're not going to work. Just need to get a little bit more because it's just. I always use the glue, but I need to get a little bit of the fabric down there so it doesn't look like it's ripped. And I'm not even going to empty my trash tonight. That doesn't tell you how tired I'm getting. The bucket's got got a lot of room for fabric scraps that I wouldn't use. It's not gonna work. Dang on it. No. I cut it way too shy. It's just I gotta cut more stuff because I've taken the glue off. Okay. Let's try this again so I'm not wasting it. We're cutting. No, that's the wrong scissors. Those I do not use first. I just use them for. Okay, we're gonna get a bigger piece. If I have to, I'll put some on my scrap. Hopefully, I did it big enough. I don't feel like hauling the fabric over here to try. Now you'll work. I know I can bring the fabric over and I can lay it over there, but I'm not. My patience is. I'm done. I'm cooked. I enjoy it. I'm getting tired. And this cushion is not as comfortable as I thought it was going to be. It's going back. So I'll take Josh's cushion out in the garage and I'll sit on it for a while and then I think it's comfortable and then he can just go ahead and make me one. Are you okay? I'm hearing him coughing in there. I was like, are you okay? What's happening with us tonight? Come on. Get what's program now. It's the last little bit. He knows that I'm ready to say good night, sweetheart. I don't get impatient with those very often, but I think I'm just tired. That's just all there is to it. I'm tired and I know it. I know it. I didn't find out what I did with my other seam ripper. I got it to bring it through here. Maybe on the table still. So I went and got my tea. And I brought it down the Amish country with the Kinusaiga in case I saw a piece that I needed to kind of tuck in for a minute or fix or something down there. So I brought it and I put it in with my crochet yarn. And then I went to take it out and bring it over here. And I forgot to bring it over. But I do. That's why I brought out my spare. But I like having two of them. Of course, I've given two to Christina just in case she needed a spare. And I gave one to Mother that wasn't an old ancient one. That was a little bit more easier for the handle part. There's a pack of 5. So I only have 2. I finally got the face, but I need to put a little bit of glue in certain places. It's not the right side. I need this side. So now for the most part, we have the face done, at least that part, and then we'll work on the other part. And, I know that the lips probably look, for maybe some people, a little daunting. But if you take your time, and if you get a piece that falls out like the eye that just popped right out, just take your time, take glue, and you can fix it. It'll be fine. And you would have never known that the eye popped out. And just, there's no rush. But I did come in and kind of take care of it because I thought if I wait on this, because I've had to put the glue in, that's the only thing I would say. If you have to kind of fix it with glue and you think, okay, well, I was going to stop at a certain piece, take a moment and finish that. Because I guarantee you, when you try to come back, you're not going to be able to finish it because you're going to be going, oh my goodness gracious, this is a pain in the neck. So fix it. Do your sections where if you've had to put glue for one reason or another, finish that section because you'll thank yourself later. I'm telling you. It's gonna harden. It may not look like it right now, but it will. And then they're just gonna be. It's gonna be hard to get to. And this little thing that looks like it's gonna come out morning. And I would wait like a piece like this, and I would do the water trick in the morning. I would just let it sit. So. If you have to kind of hold it down for a minute. It'll be fine. And just go over, especially where you've had to put the glue. But I think the nose, and I'm not too worried. I know we had to put glue up here, but I think it'll be okay. I can still kind of get into that. It's not as kind of intricate as that whole piece was. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. Gotta get that down a little bit more. So I think that looks really good. I like that. So you just need to press down. Remember, we're not making perfect. Looks better. But that looks adorable. It's coming to life. I'm loving the little mouth and nose. Looks like the kitty's sticking the tongue out. It'll look cute. It'll look really cute when we put the fabric. It looks like the cat's going. It's cute. Kitty's looks cute. I don't know. Whatever I use for the ball yarn, I have to have yarn to match that because I'm going to put a tail to make it look 3D. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So whatever, or what? I don't even know what I'm going to do for the rug or the table. So anyway. All right. So with that being said, y'all, this girl has had it for tonight. There's nothing left to give. So we'll come back. I don't know if I'm going to work on this piece tomorrow or whether I'm going to work on the cross for the ladybug. I don't know. We will see. But the kitty is coming together. The problem is I don't know what I'm going to do for the wall yet. Just don't know. That's going to be a... Oh, my fabric is green. Which is not a bad thing. Oh boy. But anyway, I'm going to put this up here because I do want that to dry really well and I don't want it to be interfering with anything. So, but I want to work on that cross. I dropped a piece of that stuff right here. I don't know what I'm going to do for that. I've been thinking about what to use for the wall or the table. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Do not know. Have no idea for when it comes to that part of it. Don't know. Really? But I'm loving it so far. Just don't know what can I do for that yet. But it's an adorable pattern. It really is. Just take your time when it comes to like the little pieces of it, you know, when it comes to the little piece part of it. Like kind of like the cat's mouth, kind of. Yeah, like it just looks like it's sticking out. But it's adorable. At least I think that's what it's supposed to be. With the mouth. Okay, we're just. Well, maybe I should do that. Take it in my bedroom. I gotta go find my other seam ripper anyway. Yeah, what I did to forgo it. My water trail going over here. So I can make sure I have plenty of water, keep myself hydrated. All right, y'all. So tomorrow I will try to come on. With that being said, you all just please keep watching. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. We just do a lot of fun here. We do a lot of connect and grow and a lot of connection and just being friends and a community of people. Now, next month, I'm going to try to do the Eli Yoder book for the giveaway. I'm also going to hopefully be able to do the recipe for the Amish haystack um, and so forth. So we're going to try to do that for next month. Um, and then of course we have I can't think. We have Fall Fest coming up. If Gail Southern Living's going to do that again, hopefully. So anyway, we just got a lot of fun stuff coming up. We got Christmas. We got a lot of fun things coming up. So I'm going to try to come on tomorrow. I'm going to be resting on Sunday. I can guarantee you probably the only thing I'll do is be doing sub caddies. Monday I will come on and we'll do more Kinusaiga. I can guarantee Tuesday I will not, and I will see how I'm feeling on Wednesday. So with that being said, you all, I love each and every one of you. Remember to be proud of being you, because everyone else is taken. Keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook is required, or seam ripper is required. Do not need a seam ripper. And get some better. And something else I said, we have you covered, and you certainly have us covered. And we are so, 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 so grateful. And I think I need to go to sleep. Looking for my phone holder, but I think it's in the other room. So I love you. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I promise. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye, everybody. Stay connected.